A baby is looking at you right now, completely focused. No blinking, no distractions, just an intense gaze that can make even adults feel a little self-conscious. Most people laugh, wave, or make silly sounds to get a reaction. But scientists who study brain development have spent years trying to understand what's really happening during those quiet, unbroken stares. And what they've discovered doesn't just change how we see babies. It changes how we think about the human mind itself. At first, the explanation seems simple. Babies stare because their vision is limited and faces are the most interesting thing they can see. That makes sense. Newborns can only focus on objects about 8 to 12 inches away, roughly the distance to a caregiver's face. But this idea falls apart quickly. By 3 months, babies can see much more of their surroundings, the ceiling, windows, pets, or anything in the room. Yet they still choose to focus on faces again and again. That's not a limitation. That's a clear preference. When researchers explored this further, they found something surprising. In 2017, scientists studying brain activity during face-to-face interaction discovered that when a baby makes eye contact with you, something remarkable happens. Your brain activity begins to align. The patterns and rhythms in both brains start to sync. This doesn't happen when the adult looks away and only partially happens with neutral expressions. But direct eye contact creates the strongest connection. In a sense, the baby is using your brain as a guide, helping shape their own developing mind. That stare is part of how humans learn to become human. It gets even more interesting. Babies don't look at everyone the same way. In one study, infants were shown two faces, a stranger and their caregiver. Surprisingly, they spent more time looking at the stranger. But this isn't because they prefer strangers. It's because the unfamiliar face is harder to understand. Scientists call this a violation of expectation. Babies study what confuses them. Meanwhile, their caregiver's face is already deeply familiar. By 3 months, they've spent countless hours observing it. So when they look at you, they're not puzzled. They're interpreting. By 5 months, babies can tell the difference between a real smile and a fake one. By 6 months, they begin using your emotional reactions to guide their own behavior. If you look afraid, they hesitate. If you seem excited, they engage. If you're calm, they feel safe exploring. This process, known as social referencing, shows that a baby's stare is actually a way of gathering emotional information. They're building a map of the world through your face, learning what's safe and what isn't. In many ways, you act as an external system helping regulate their emotions. There's a famous experiment that highlights just how important this interaction is. In it, a mother plays normally with her baby, smiling, talking, responding. Then suddenly, she becomes completely expressionless. No reaction, no emotion, just a blank face. The baby immediately notices and tries to reconnect, smiling, making sounds, reaching out. When nothing works, the baby becomes distressed. Heart rate rises, stress increases, and some infants even shut down emotionally. When the mother resumes interaction, the baby recovers, but not instantly. This experiment revealed that babies are not passive. They're active participants in a constant emotional exchange, mostly communicated through facial expressions. There's another layer that's often overlooked. These moments of eye contact don't just build emotional connection. They shape the brain itself. Studies show that babies who experience more responsive, face-to-face interaction early in life develop stronger growth in the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, emotional control, and social behavior. In other words, these simple moments of looking and responding are literally building the foundation of a child's future thinking and behavior. But there's also something important to watch for. If a baby consistently avoids eye contact, doesn't follow faces, or seems disengaged, it may be worth paying attention. While every child develops differently, reduced eye contact can sometimes signal differences in social development. Early awareness matters because the brain is most adaptable in the first 2 years of life. Identifying concerns early can make a significant difference. So the next time a baby stares at you from across the room, remember what's really going on. Their brain is reaching out, trying to connect with yours. They're learning how to feel, how to react, and how to exist in a social world. Those wide, curious eyes aren't random. They're one of the most powerful tools humans have for connection. And when a baby looks at you like that, the best thing you can do is look right back. If this made you see babies differently, feel free to share your thoughts. Have you ever had a moment where a baby's stare caught you off guard? Now you know there was something much deeper happening behind it.